Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off. Online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and in today's episode we are joined by a very special guest, current college goaltender, Blake Pietila. Blake is currently in his sophomore season playing Division I hockey with Michigan Tech University. He also played juniors in the USHL for the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. Blake, welcome back. Welcome to the show. Very, very excited to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, no problem. So how have you been? Like, your season started, obviously. So, like, how's your season going? And just with all the regulations as well, and with COVID coming into play as well.
Yeah, it is weird with regulations. I mean, we have to get tested 6 days a week. So Monday through Saturday or whatever. And, yeah, it's also weird that some games we – usually in a normal season we play Friday, Saturday. But now it's just kind of random. Like, usually sometimes it's Sunday, Monday or Saturday, Sunday. So – and the times are different. Sometimes they're 3 p.m. So, yeah, it's a little different to get used to, but it's kind of nice. Yeah, it's going good. We started off, I think, pretty slow, like 1 and 2, but now we rolled off a couple in a row. So, yeah, it's good to get a couple wins in a row.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, can you give our viewers, like, a little background information on yourself? Like, we'll talk about this season in a little bit, but, like, when you started playing hockey, what made you become a goaltender in your hockey journey so far?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what age it is, but I started playing like the mini mite age or whatever, like house hockey. I don't remember starting to be a goalie, but my dad said the team would always rotate who plays goalie that game. And when I played it, I liked it, and I always asked to play goalie. So yeah, that's kind of when I started playing. So pretty young.
Yeah, that's awesome. So then you went into playing AAA hockey from 2014 to 2017,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what was your experience playing high level of hockey in AAA from the time you're able to play AAA?
Yeah, it's awesome. You always you don't know it at the time, but because when you're young, but it's always the top level of guys in Michigan. So as you grow older, everybody starts to get scouted to college and stuff. So it's always great to play those high end talent players.
Yeah, for sure. So then you put up some really good numbers in your AAA career. So, like, what do you think helped you become such a successful goaltender at a younger age?
Yeah, I mean, at a younger age, it's more just compete, I don't feel like for me at least, I didn't really work on the tactical stuff too much, like movement or anything. It was just more of the compete, and I feel like that helped me the most.
Yeah, so what do you think, like, learning from all that and just, like, playing the game to help yourself develop, would you say, like, that, like, competitive edge, and just as a younger kid, you're just worried about competing and just going out there and competing as best you can. So do you think that helped your development?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, as a little kid, obviously you can always work on your skating or something like that. I mean, you always can get better at that. But if you have that compete, I feel like you're a step ahead of anybody else who doesn't want to do that. So I feel like that helps for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And just skating in general is so important as a goaltender. And like, what would you do to help yourself, especially like now? Like, what would you do to help your skating improve?
Yeah, so for me, I struggle a little bit on like the post work, kind of like C cuts on the post, like an RVH. So this season we've been working on that a lot. Like before practice, we'll just go out with our goalies or our goalie coach Jamie Phillips. He's been great this year. So yeah, we'll just like go on the boards and just like drop our stick and kind of work on C cuts against the boards. So yeah, that's helped a lot, and I can see a difference in the games.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Jamie Phillips, good friend of the
Yeah.
show. And like, what's it like being coached by a guy that played professional hockey and he knows so much about the game?
Yeah, it's great. Like even the first day, during this COVID stuff, he wasn't able to come in, and I asked him for some drills in the summer because I work out and skate up here at school, and he gave me some drills to work on, and right away he had some pointers from the videos that I sent him, and so it's great. He picks up stuff pretty easy, and it's great to work on that with him throughout the year.
Yeah, such a great guy to have, especially trying to develop your game in college and just like your numbers are insane in college right now. So that it must be a huge help to have him around.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every week you start fresh, so no matter how you do on the weekend, so he's a great help for me, Mark, and Caden, the other goalie. Yeah, we love him. We can't thank him enough for being here for us.
Yeah, for sure. So like going back to AAA a little bit, like what were some of the struggles that you faced during your years in AAA, and like how were you able to like to overcome that level that you wanted to be at when you went to play junior hockey?
Yeah, well, I'd say when I was playing AAA, I wasn't always like the top goalie in the division or the league or whatever. So I mean, that every time you see someone, like you always like wondering what they're doing or whatever. So you kind of just have to worry about yourself and focus on yourself. So yeah, it's kind of hard not to like focus on the other stars or see how they're doing and try to compare yourself to them. But I think it works out well if you just worry about yourself and just kind of worry about your own game.
Yeah, so like it's sometimes difficult just focus on yourself, not trying to compare yourself to others.
Yeah.
So like what would you do to help yourself not do that and just focus on your game, yourself, and just your development overall?
Yeah, in the game, you just kind of try to worry about like focusing on the puck or the play or whatever, just kind of zoning out everything else. Or before the game, you just work on your training off the ice, and if you do good training off the ice, you're prepared for the game. That kind of helps you forget about everything else.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. So then you go on to junior hockey. So like in the United States hockey in the USHL. It's like what was the junior hockey process like for you to sign with a team? Did you like attend like the main camp, get a tryout? Like what what went on to get your
Yeah.
junior
So
contract?
yeah, it was different for me. I'd say a lot of people get drafted and then they go to the main camp, but for me, I started with the Brookings Blizzard in the Null. I think they're a different team, like Alexandria Blizzard now or something. But yeah, I started with them. I played a couple preseason games there, and then Mark Carlson, who's the head coach there, called me and kind of asked me to show up, and it was kind of like a tryout type thing. I think they already had 2 or 3 goalies there, so it was like right at the main camp time or maybe a little after. And yeah, so he said I just had a battle for a spot there, and so then I ended up beating out the 2 other goalies. So yeah, and then I just made the team from there.
Yeah, so then you found a team in the USHL for the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. Like, what was your experience playing hockey in the U show and playing hockey in Cedar Rapids, Iowa?
Yeah, Cedar Rapids is great. I mean, it's a small town, great fan base, and I love the arena. It's great. You get a ton of fans, and so yeah, the junior hockey experience there was great. And wait, sorry, what was your other question about that?
Like, what was your experience with it with playing the USHL?
Oh yeah, it's always great playing the top. It's considered one of the top junior hockeys in the world or whatever that want to go to college. So yeah, it's great. It's a great development for college. It gets you ready to play against all the top in talent. So yeah, it's awesome. Every night you got to be ready and be ready to play.
Oh yeah, and just going into like Cedar Rapids, like it's a small town, like you said. Like, what was like the atmosphere like around like the games and everything? Because I would imagine that, especially in the USHL, like it'd be one of the best crowds in the
Yeah,
USHL.
it was one of the best crowds. It's kind of weird because around there, they don't have like the professional sports teams or whatever. So to them, you're kind of like the professional sports team. So every night on the Friday and Saturday, they look forward to watching you play. So yeah, it's awesome. All the fans love it, and they love to sign autographs after the games and take pictures and everything. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. It's like going throughout like your junior career, like what are some of the biggest takeaways you learned throughout like your years in juniors, but that you took to college?
Yeah. One of the things I learned was like in practice, it's kind of a grind or whatever. And AAA, you're used to just maybe 3 days a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then games. Yeah, but in juniors, it's like a dedication every day. You practice Monday through Thursday, sometimes morning skate on Friday, and then you play on the weekends and you get a day off and you're back at it. So yeah, the ton of games, I think it's 62 or something like that with the practices. It's a lot of work, and you kind of pride yourself on bringing your effort every day and, getting ready for that long season. That kind of helps you for college.
Yeah, so how's that like time management? Because you're playing a lot of games, like you don't have school to worry about in juniors, but like and compared to like what you do in college, like what would you do to manage your time and like make sure you're getting the necessary recovery, sleep, and all the necessary things you need to do to perform at your best?
Yeah, well, actually, I did go to school. My first year in Cedar Rapids, I was a senior in high school, so I went to a high school out there. Yeah, it's nice. You only had to take like 3 or 4 classes, so yeah, that actually wasn't bad. But yeah, my second year, my gap year or whatever, for time management, I mean, you just usually spend more time at the rink to kind of, it takes away from the time at home. You go in early or something like that. Then at home, maybe hang out watching TV or whatever, and then just get a good night's sleep. I feel like that prepares you for the week if you get good sleep every night.
Yeah, absolutely. So like going in your first year of juniors in Cedar Rapids, like what were some of your expectations? Did you have any like, or were you just like, just let it flow and just whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, it was kind of actually the let it flow mindset. I mean, I kind of wanted to, I didn't want to stay in Brookings or whatever because, I thought I would play there more. But then when I got the opportunity for the USHL, I was fired up because, I heard it was a great league. And,
Yeah.
my goalie partner at the time was Pietila. He's signed with Vegas, I think, just recently. So, yeah, he was drafted there. And I wasn't expecting anything. I just wanted to go there, work hard. And if I got to play, I was going to earn the opportunity to get back in there after I did.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you put up a 13-11-4 record in your first year. It's like, what was the biggest thing you had to learn that season? Like the transition of playing against better competition.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing for me is just how fast it is, how fast you have to move laterally and be set for pucks. Like in juniors, AAA, it's slower, and people don't get the pucks off quick or as fast or whatever. So yeah, I noticed in my first game right away that they move the puck really fast, and you have to be set and be ready for every shot because they shoot it from anywhere and they have such great shots that anything can go in. So yeah, pretty much just being ready for every shot.
Yeah, so like what would you work on to help yourself move better laterally, move faster and more efficiently compared to just having the game slow down a little bit just from like your AAA to junior level?
Yeah, what I would work on is so I was a smaller goalie. I thought I needed to be way super far out there, like in drills. I know, like at first I was like maybe a foot outside of the white, which I realized quickly that you don't need to do that, and that's not beneficial at all. So yeah, just maybe like staying like toes at the top of the crease or something like that. It'll help. It helps with cross ice passes, and that gives you more time to be set and make adjustments if needed. So yeah, I feel like that helped the best.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a smaller goalie as well, and it's just like I used to think that I need to be a lot more aggressive, but like there's times where you need to be aggressive, but there's times where you just sit at top of the crease, then you could have that momentum going. Like if you had to go side to side, go make a cross crease save,
Yeah.
and it's very very effective compared to just having a lot more room to sprawl out and
Yeah.
have a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then, the following year, you put up an incredible 13-4 record with 5 shutouts. It's like, what do you think helped with your success in winning a lot more games and playing a lot more games than the year prior?
Well, our second year we were a lot better team, so that helped with the wins. And then moving into the second year, you've already got a year under your belt, and once you've played a year, you kind of adjusted everything. It almost feels like it slows down a little bit, but you're just used to it. And so yeah, I feel like the confidence and being a second year guy and the good team kind of all correlated into one.
Yeah. So like, what would you do to help boost your confidence, especially like it's like say like games aren't going right and like you need to be more confident. Like what would you do to help yourself be more confident? Just make the saves you have to and not overdo anything.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing for me is if I'm not doing too well, I just realize it sounds kind of dumb, but I just how simple being a goalie is. If you track the puck, you're gonna make the save. So I just really try to focus on watching the puck. If I'm struggling, usually it's when I get into bad habits of just kind of like just not tracking and just kind of throw my body out there. But yeah, usually if I'm struggling, I know that I can make the save and just track everything in, and that usually helps.
Yeah, because I recently had the same thing where you're struggling, but like once you like know like how simple you have to be, like it definitely does help a ton, and it definitely helps you improve like everything, like just not overdoing anything, keeping everything simple. It really helps
Exactly.
your game.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so your senior year, your second year in juniors, yeah, you guys made the playoffs. Like, what was the playoff atmosphere like in Cedar Rapids and just playing playoff hockey in Iowa?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we got fresh new jerseys, and it was great. It was my first playoff experience. I mean, in AAA, it's just like it's state playoffs, but it's not. I've never been in a series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought it was awesome. I loved every second of it. And yeah, we ended up winning our first series. I think like 2-0. We swept. It was a best of three. And then our second series, we lost to Chicago Steel. I think they ended up losing in the Clark Cup final. But yeah, they're a really good team. I think we lost in 4 games or something like that. But yeah, it was awesome. I loved every second of it.
What was like the biggest thing you learned during the playoffs? Because playoff hockey's a different breed. Like everything gets harder in playoffs. Like what did you have to learn to be successful in the playoffs?
Yeah, I learned that everything. I feel like the whole tempo of each team, it steps up quickly. So I mean, everything's faster. It feels like it. Like you really have to work on being calm and control, because I feel like in playoffs, there's everybody's throwing pucks at the net. It's all intense, you know. So I feel like you try to slow the game down a little bit, especially if you're in the away barn. So yeah, I feel like just kind of slowing the game down and being controlled in the net.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you there. So then you go on to play college hockey. So and you committed to Michigan Tech University. So like what went into choosing Michigan Tech as your school and playing hockey for a quality Division I program?
Yeah, so ever since I was young, I've always wanted to play for Michigan Tech. I have a lot of, and that's because I have a lot of family and cousins and relatives up there. My dad also went to school there, so that had a big factor. And I've always had a lot of cousins on the team. So yeah, and I've always known their great history and tradition of being a good hockey team. So yeah, that's kind of what made me want to play there.
Yeah, so you played your first year and you played 6 games. So like what was
Yeah.
that transition period like for you going from the USHL to playing Division I hockey at 18 years old?
Yeah, what I noticed when I think I had 2 starts. In my first start, we played Mankato, and they're a really big and heavy team.
Yeah.
So it's more of a grindy type league. And what I noticed is the big bodies in front and like a lot of traffic. So I had to adjust. I think the biggest thing to adjust to was the traffic and trying to find pucks through screens.
Yeah, so like what would you do to help yourself see pucks through screens and just trying to get around like everyone, especially the big bodies in front of the net?
I think the thing to help was not being aggressive and being too close to the bodies. Because if you're too close and you're tangled up in it, it can get you off balance. And I feel like you're not really focused on tracking the puck. Another thing is we worked on projecting. So if like a puck shot and you look on the left side of the screen and you see it come to the right side, you kind of slide and try to make yourself big. So we worked on that a lot.
Yeah, so like did you have any expectations going into your first year where you just like had that go with the flow mindset like you did in juniors?
Yeah, so they had a senior Matt Rusick and a junior Robbie Baydoun, both great goalies. And yeah, I mean, obviously you always want to play, and you know you want to play and get the most ice you can. But I mean, yeah, I just wanted the same mindset I had in juniors, just go in and work hard and hopefully get the chance. And if I do, try to stay in there. But yeah, I mean, I didn't play a lot, but I mean, I still had fun every second I was there, and I still felt like I was getting better in practice. So I mean, that was a positive.
Yeah, exactly. And just having that, like, if you get an opportunity, like, you're gonna perform well and give yourself the best chance you can to
Yep.
when you get that chance. So that's a good mindset to have. So, like, what was that mindset like during the season? Just staying positive, even though you weren't playing a lot, and just working on improving, especially during practice.
Yeah, not gonna lie. Sometimes it is tough if you're not playing or you don't get to go on a road trip, because in college they only take 2 on away road trips. So sometimes you have to stay home and yeah, sometimes it's tough, but you try to forget about it and maybe just work out in the weight room while everybody's gone, or you go on the ice for skates and just try to get better and to make sure the next weekend that you're in the lineup or you're on the road trip.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what would you do to like work out and like just especially like off ice stuff? Like, what do you do to help yourself get better and help yourself improve where you need to improve?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I would just work on my hand-eye, like juggling or work on like reaction balls off the wall or something like that. And then on the ice, they would put together a skate, and I just try to make every save. Obviously, you're not going to, but just try to stay positive and not be mad that you're not on the road trip, but just try to focus on getting better and keep everything else out of your mind.
Exactly. That's a great mindset to have, especially like when you're not going on those road trips and you just have to practice. Just treat practice like a game, and just don't go through like you might have things that you go through the motions, but like just focus on keep working and just getting better each and every time.
Yeah, exactly.
So then last year was like what was a wild year with COVID coming into play. It's like, were you guys affected at all during this end of the season when like COVID-19 came like to the States?
Yeah, no, we no one on our team had it or anything, but yeah, we were in playoffs. In our first weekend of playoffs, we just swept Northern to move on to the next round. We were actually on our way on a bus to Mankato to play them. I think in the second round, and we were probably about halfway there, and we got the call that we had to turn around. So that was kind of a dagger. We were halfway there, we had to turn around, drive like I don't know what it was, 4 or 5 hours back home. Yeah, it was tough.
That absolutely blows, and just like thinking like you don't even know what's going to happen next. Like the season ended up getting canceled, and we're still in a pandemic right now. So it's
exactly
crazy to think about that.
Yeah, just a crazy way for the season to end.
Yeah, exactly. So then comes next season, which is this season. You're a sophomore, and we're in these COVID times. Like, what's everything like with COVID? I know we touched on it early in the episode.
Yeah.
Like, do you have any restrictions? Like, you have to wear masks on the ice or like anything like that?
Yeah. No, we don't have to wear the mask on the ice because we get tested every 6 days a week or whatever, like I said. So, but we do have to wear in the locker room and everywhere else, like in the weight room. The only time that we don't have to wear is on the ice, which is nice. But yeah, so the only restrictions are just like or whatever when you're walking in the rink. So in the rink, weight room, obviously not in the showers, but yeah. So any time we're not on the ice, we have to wear the mask.
Yeah, that's at least good that you don't have to wear them on the ice.
Yeah.
So like going into this season, like what did you work on over the summer to help improve your game and take a big step in your game?
Yeah. In the summer, I always like to work on my tracking, get better with tracking, because I think that's the biggest thing. Work on your hands. If you have good hands and good eyes, not a lot's going to get by you. And then obviously when I'm still working is on my skating. I can always get better. I can move pretty quick, but my skating can be better. And I mean, better skate patterns and more efficient movements to keep myself ahead of the play. But yeah, that's what I worked on. Yeah,
exactly. So going into this season, you've played 7 games so far, and you have a 1.2 goals against average, .959 save percentage, and with 2 shutouts. So you've been putting on a show this season. So like, what's like been like the most fun part of the season so far, and just being so successful and winning games?
Yeah, like what you just said, they're winning games. That's the most fun part. I mean, last year I didn't get a win, and I was looking forward all year to trying to get my first win. So getting my first win against Mankato was the best. And then on the team, ever since then we've gotten I think 4 or 5 in a row, something like that. So yeah, that's the best part. Because when you get wins, everybody's happy, the coaches are happy, the vibes of the locker room are good. So yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, exactly. What have you been doing to just give your team a chance to win, no matter what day it is, who you're playing? Like, what's like the mindset like every day you come to the rink and just wanting to give your team a chance to win?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Jamie, our goalie coach, that's kind of what he talks about. He's like, ask yourself, do you give yourself a chance to win? So yeah, me, Mark, and Bailey, that's kind of like what we try to focus on is giving our team a chance to win every night. And if you do that, then you probably have a good chance of winning, and then you did your job.
Yeah, I think this season's definitely, for both of us, we're doing pretty well. I'm starting off 2-0 in 2020. You just came off a WCHA Goaltender of the Month award in December, along with a few like Goaltender of the Week. So like, what does that mean to you, and just being noticed about what you're doing and how the team's doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to get like awarded with those awards, but I mean, you just gotta keep going and keep your foot on the gas, like they say. I mean, try not to get complacent and worry about those. I mean, they're in the past. Yeah, so it's nice to get them, but you want your team to keep winning and keep doing good and keep riding the win streak.
Yeah, exactly. And you're doing a hell of a job at that, and just keep it up. So, like, I got a few more questions for you before we end this episode.
Perfect.
So, do you have any tips for goalies looking to get to that next level?
Yeah, so I mean, for younger goalies, I think when we talked about earlier, compete. I feel like that was my biggest thing. So that'd probably be my biggest tip for younger goalies is not really worrying about where other goalies are at their age level and trying to like worry about them, or so just kind of focus on your own game and worrying about compete and valuing practice in games. And I feel like scouts will notice that and you'll be able to get to the next level.
Yeah, for sure, and just compete is super important, like all sports. Because if you're not willing to compete, then why are you doing it? And you're not going to be successful at all. So that's a huge thing to get through your head and get to that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So another question I have is, how important is it to be a student of the game? We touched on this a little bit, but can you go a little more in depth with like being a student of the game, like learning from like Jamie, learning from your goaltending partners, and just learning from your teammates too.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I got a big advantage of that in my first year. Matt Drusik was a very good goalie, so it's great to, if you're not in the net, get to watch them, and it's always nice. Like so in practices, you're always you have 3 goalies, so you're rotating in. So yeah, if you're in, if you're waiting for them to get out, you watch them and see how they do. And during goalie skates, me and Mark and Bailey always talk to each other and like just like pick up little things and ask each other like what we did there, or why we did that there, or kind of discuss little key points. So yeah, I think it's always great to keep on trying to learn and keep getting better every day.
100%. Like there's always something you can learn, no matter how old you are. Like guys in the NHL right now learn stuff every day, and just it's super important if you want to be a successful goaltender and a successful athlete.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Yeah, so my final question of the day for you is, what's your favorite pump-up song before you go on the ice for warm-ups?
I don't know. I actually don't have one. I just like to listen to I can't think of names of my songs. I'm not very good. I have a playlist, but it's my type of music is more, it's like rap, but it's like a little slower, just kind of like a smooth rap, kind of gets you in the zone a little bit. So it's not like a pump-up hype music. It's just kind of like smooth, get you in the zone type music. So that's what I love to listen to before games.
Oh yeah, whatever's on Blake's playlist, that's what he goes with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Blake, thank you so much for taking the time. Wait, I have one more question actually.
Yeah. Okay.
You have Jamie brought to my attention, you have a twin brother on the team. So like, what's it like playing with a twin brother on the same team?
Yeah. So yeah, Logan's my twin brother. Yeah, it's awesome to play with him because we played with each other growing up, whatever, all the way until juniors, and then we split apart, and we were like we had rivalry teams. He was on Dubuque, I was on Cedar Rapids. So yeah, we were apart for 2 years, but yeah, it's great to have him back on my side, and we're roommates and everything. So yeah, it feels like back to the good old days or whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. So here's the official ending. Blake, Thank you so much for coming on the show and taking the time out of your day. I really appreciate your time. I want to wish you the best of luck going forward, and this was a lot of fun.
Yep, thanks for having me, Jack.
Yeah, no problem.